Here we go. All right, people, your boy Mad Mike coming at you guys with yet another Atlanta Falcons. Should I say Atlanta Falcons? Nah, I'm gonna say Red Cup Rants edition. All right, Atlanta Falcons edition of the Red Cup Rants, or the Red Cup Rants edition of Atlanta Falcons. And the guy below, a lot of Atlanta Falcons fans should know him already, especially guys who are channel. You see him a lot. You see his videos on YouTube also. Jew Talk Sports, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah, man. I go by the name of Jew Talk Sports. You can find me on YouTube. I give you all that real Atlanta Falcons content, man. I don't pull no punches. That's what me and Mad Mike love about each other, man. I'm gonna give y'all the real. I'm gonna give y'all that positive content about our Atlanta Falcons, but I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna give it to you straight, man. I'm gonna give it to you straight. So y'all definitely go like, share, subscribe on my channel. But y'all definitely gonna want to tune in that Friday night, 8 p.m. to our show. It's gonna be strictly Atlanta Falcons talk. We already get enough negative talk in the media about our Atlanta Falcons. So we're gonna give it to y'all straight, man. Me, Kevin, and Mike gonna give it to y'all straight.
Yes, sir.
All right, Kev. Let him introduce. How that song go? Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is.
Introduce myself. My name's Kev.
Give him to him.
What you see? I ain't gonna do it like that. But yeah, like I said, Kevin. Like I said, new guy. Like I said, just sit here talking shit. Falcons all day. What would you guys say? Let's move on.
That's all.
Hey, oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, one thing. Always gotta have a beer too.
Hey, man. Hey, so who's the maker of that beer? I want to know, because we need to give them a shout out. Whoever it is, y'all need to hit us up and sponsor this show. All right. Sponsor the show.
Yeah, that's Orpheus Brewing at Atlanta Tart Plum Ciazon. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I got two more here too, so we good.
All right, man. Oh, Jesus Christ. Hey, it don't matter if you're alcoholic, man. It ain't no judgment over here, man. It ain't no judgment over here.
Hey, you just gotta let them know you have to sponsor.
Gotta let them know, man.
Drink responsibly.
Man, I'll just say it like this, man. Drink responsibly. All right, sit your ass at home. All right, I already got COVID going around ruining freaking lives right now. So, yeah, man, drink responsibly. But man, let's get straight to the business. All right, Atlanta Falcons fans, man, let us know now. All right, let us know your questions and what you guys. This is a Atlanta Falcons Q&A. I want to talk about something before we get into the Q&A, but this Atlanta Falcons defense, I've been trying to tell people for the longest. They just don't understand the dynamics of scheme. They don't know the dynamics of what the Atlanta Falcons defense is. It's called a flex defense. Technically, yes, it is still a 4-3 defense, but you have players like Vic Beasley. You have players like now who we have is Michael Walker, and we have players like Devonta Jr. Those guys are capable of being outside linebackers. All right. And Dan Quinn's scheme, I don't know how many times I said this shit over and over again, and you people still don't get it. Dan Quinn's scheme is a 4-3 under. The defensive end is a defensive end / outside linebacker. Therefore, that linebacker, Vic Beasley or Devonta Fowler Jr., can go out, or he can sit in and rush the passer. He's not a true defensive end, people. Understand schemes. It doesn't look like your traditional 3-4. even a traditional 3-4 has it's multiple levels to this, to complex defense depending on the scheme, the coaching, what the coach wants. And what the Falcons do in a 4-3 under / 3-4, they use their defensive end like a third outside, like a Pittsburgh Steelers. You know how the Pittsburgh Steelers use their outside linebackers? Either they can go out or they can come in. It's the same concept. And you really have to study the game to understand this concept. So Falcons fans, the Falcons do play 3-4. The Falcons play 4-2-5. The Falcons play 3-3-5. So stop with the nonsense. Oh, we don't play the 3-4. What are you talking about, man, Mike? Bro, we played 3-4. That's my rant. I just had to get that out, man. Y'all want to say something about that? Because this has really been driving me damn crazy for the last 3 years, Jew. How long have we been trying to explain this to damn Falcons fans?
Man, bro, I've been trying to explain this on my channel. And if you remember when Mike Nolan was here, this was a couple years back, maybe like the early 2010s when Mike Smith was still here. We were running a 3-4 back then. And one thing I love about the 3-4 defense is it caters to your outside linebackers or your defensive ends. Because some outside linebackers or defensive ends rush better from a 2-point stance, meaning standing up. They rush better that way. So I love it, especially when you have smallish defensive ends like Vic Beasley. Wasn't one of the biggest guys as far as going up against 300-pound offensive linemen or tackles, things of that nature. And I think Vic Beasley was served better standing up, where he could use his speed and his quick first step. And like you were talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers, one player I love is TJ Watt. If you watch his game, he was one of the players out of Wisconsin that I wanted the Falcons to draft. Another player kind of similar to TJ Watt that I wanted us to draft this year was Zach Bond. He actually went to the Saints, but he also went to Wisconsin as well. And he's one of those guys that stands up and rushes from the outside as well. So I agree with you. Bud Dupree of the Steelers as well. He's one of those guys that stands up in a 2-point stance. And he was one of those guys that Vic Beasley was actually working out with in the offseason. So, like you said, I really think that the Falcons playing that multi-flex defense is really gonna really benefit us, because Dante Fowler is one of those guys. He talked about it a little bit in his interview this week, that he prefers being in a 2-point stance and not always with his hand in the dirt. And I feel like the Jacksonville Jaguars, that was one of their biggest issues with him when he first came out and was drafted by Jacksonville. They wanted him strictly to be kind of like we were using Vic Beasley. They wanted him strictly to have his hands in the dirt the whole time. They didn't want him switching sides. They wanted him to strictly be a defensive end and not an outside linebacker.
Yeah, I say, you made a good point.
Kevin, what's your thoughts on the third?
Yeah, like you said in the early 2010s when they did have that 3-4. Like you said, big Grady Jackson. You had to have that. You had to have that note, that guard, that nose tackle.
Yeah, man.
And like I said, I think most pass rushers prefer to play 2-point stands anyway, because you got the momentum.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Beasley's problem was his momentum led him eating dirt most of the time, but like you said, like you said, but that flex defense, it kind of, I agree, it kind of gives like you don't know what to expect, and I think that's what they needed, because if you look at the last 7-8 games of the season last year, you saw kind of like that versatile defense where they could use that speed, because that's what the team defense is based on, is speed. And like I said, Ricardo Allen playing strong safety, it adds a whole nother dynamic.
And that's that coverage that they need. That's that coverage and that leadership that they needed for a while. And like I said, I agree. One of the most important positions in a multi-flex defense is the nose tackle. A lot of people like to say Grady Jarrett is the most important, but if you don't have that guy in the middle of your defensive line who can't hold a point, it really doesn't matter how big you are. If you can't hold a point in the NFL, you're going to get shredded. And we've seen that for quite some time here in Atlanta without, bringing in a guy like Dontari Poe, who was here for a year. He did a great job at whole point. So Grady Jarrett can just do what he do and just get after the quarterback. Now you have Tyler Davidson, who I think is a guy who's undersized. He's about the same size, if not a little, maybe 5 to 10 pounds bigger than Grady Jarrett. He's not much bigger, but he does a great job of holding the point. And this is a video. I made a video a long time ago. I don't know if a lot of you remember this, but I said the new style of defensive tackles now, you don't necessarily need guys that are 340 pounds anymore. You need guys who are strong enough, who can use their hand well, and they can just hold the point and not get pushed around. And that's been the Falcons' issue for a long time, that they had defensive linemen that were just getting pushed around. Tack, Vic, and like Grady Jarrett, he's 290, 300 pounds, but you want him getting after the quarterback. You don't want Grady Jarrett sitting there, just holding the point and stopping him. You want him to do what he does best. So I think this team, with the depth that they have, man, on their defensive line, and I'm so freaking excited to see what. But what's the next question? My concern, it was a question before that.
Oh, I think he
about Grady Jarrett being a top 3. Grady Jarrett, is he a top defensive tackle? Hell yeah, he is. You motherfucking crazy? Have you seen this damn animal? This dude eating. It don't matter who in front of him. This dude has a defensive end. He's played defensive tackle. He's played 4. He played 7. He's played the 5. He's played 4. He's played 3. He's played 1. He's 0. He's played every position on the defensive line, and you trying to tell me that this guy is what, 90? What he's like 90 something? Are you motherfucking crazy? Fletcher Cox, he's going down. Grady Jarrett, his momentum is going up. Did you guys not see Fletcher Cox last year? Grady Jarrett was a better tackle than he was last year. This is why I get so pissed off about how they look at our team. Just because the team was 7-9 doesn't give you the right to disrespect players. Have you seen? No one can hold Grady Jarrett. Literally, no one can hold this guy. This guy pushes offensive guards who are 330. It don't matter whoever is in front of him. Grady Jarrett is going to get to that backfield. Yeah, this guy's ranked 90-something. Tell me he's not. It's only one. Look, I take this shit to the grave. There's only one damn defensive tackle in this league who is better than Grady Jarrett, and y'all can kiss my black ass if you agree with it. It is Aaron fucking Donald. Anyone, I can promise you, I can give you the film, I can give you the stats. There is only one player that is better than Grady Jarrett, and that's fucking Donald. Period. What do you guys think, man? What y'all think, man?
Go ahead, Kevin, and then I'll come behind you. Go ahead, bro.
Super Bowl 51 said everything.
Bam! Say it again, boy. How many sacks, Kevin?
Yeah, 3. 3.5.
In a Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl. Come on, let's stop disrespecting my man.
And the thing about Grady Jarrett that nobody talks about is he could play the run better than any defensive tackle outside of Aaron Donald in the league.
Exactly.
Because every time I see him,
I'm trying to tell you.
Every time I see him, he's rock bottom in quarterbacks or running backs. It's a nasty thing out there. It's nasty.
Boy, I'm trying to tell you, man.
Yeah, man. Were you done, Kevin?
Oh no, I want to say I'll let you go ahead and get your thing going. Get it going.
Yeah, man. Nah, Grady, I think that you can argue that Grady is the best defensive tackle in the league. I was talking to Mike about this a couple of days ago. I think we were just chatting. I actually was in his comments on his actual page, and I was talking about Grady Jarrett in the Super Bowl having those 3 sacks. And I was talking about people forget that Aaron Donald played in the Super Bowl against those same Patriots, and he had literally, I think, no tackles. He did nothing in the whole game. No tackles, no sacks. And people consistently underrate our players. They underrate and underestimate Grady Jarrett. Another thing that people got to look at, and I look at this in basketball, I look at this in football, look at what the players have around them. If you notice, as soon as Ndamukong Suh left, Aaron Donald really struggled last year. Woo! You see that the Rams missed the playoffs. When Ndamukong Suh went over to Tampa Bay, and that's why I tell a lot of people about Tampa Bay and Shaq Barrett having that really good season. People don't look at it's about the talent that you have around you. Grady Jarrett, the last couple seasons hasn't had any help around him. He consistently gets sacks regardless. He continually gets tackles for loss, and this is with him being double teamed. As Mike was talking about, he plays pretty much every position. But last year he was consistently double teamed, and he still would beat the double team and get tackles for loss. He would still get sacks. So I think that comparing him to Aaron Donald, I really can debate he's the number 1 defensive tackle in the game. If you just look at their Super Bowl stats, what he did in the Super Bowl against the best talent. If you look at Grady Jarrett, he never takes plays off. He never really comes off the field, if you be honest. And that's why I'm so excited about this season is that our defensive line is so deep. Just imagine a fully energized Grady Jarrett. Because he never comes off the field. If you watch Grady Jarrett play, he never comes off the field. He always gives 110%. He's that bull in the china shop that they talk about. He bullies anybody you put in front of him. I don't care if you put 2 men in front of him. I've never seen one guy literally block Grady Jarrett. They always pretty much double teaming him. He's still beating double teams. So last year he was the one-man wrecking crew. So to me, I can debate that he's the best in the league. A lot of people, because he plays for the Falcons and because he doesn't do a lot of talking in the media, he doesn't get the credit that he deserves. But Grady Jarrett, his contract should say it alone. That's the reason that he got that contract is because he pretty much balled out. And we all know who his father is, so he comes from great genes. So I think he arguably, to me, Grady Jarrett could go down as the best defensive lineman ever for the Falcons. I think he's that good.
Tackles for losses. Exclamation point.
Tackles for losses is just as good as a. That's it. It's just as good as a sack. It's just as good. Like those are the things when you get and disrupt the rhythm of quarterback. That's what you need from a defensive lineman, not just a defensive tackle or defensive end. You need guys who are going to disrupt the offensive rhythm. And that's something that Grady Jarrett does. Like, if you don't block Grady, your ass going to have a long night. He's going to make that quarterback eat dirt. And I'm talking about that nasty, muddy dirt. You're going to put your whole face in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gonna make sure you eat all of it. But as far as that's concerned, man, good gracious. Who will be the returner? Man, I'm gonna let y'all take this. I'm gonna let y'all take this one, man. Y'all can handle this one.
Hey, I don't know about the returner spot. I think if they're talking about kickoff return, I didn't mind when we had Ito Smith back there, to be honest, because Ito Smith is a guy that needs space. If you watch Ito Smith play, he's very elusive. So, like on kickoff returns, I would like to see Ito Smith take that job and continue to, because I think he was doing it a little bit last year, but then they brung in Kenjon Barner. I like Kenjon Barner, but I think he's not on the team anymore. I think we let him go. So I think that I would go with Ito Smith for that returner spot. For kickoff return, I would go with Ito Smith. For punt return, I really would look at Zacchaeus, man. If y'all didn't watch, go watch Zacchaeus' highlights when he was in college playing for the University of Virginia. Zacchaeus, I think he would be a good punt return.
Don't remind.
I think Zacchaeus would be a good punt returner, man. But for the kickoff return, for the kickoff return, I would go with Ito Smith because he's a running back. He knows how. He just needs space. Ito Smith is one of those guys that needs space, but he's elusive. And when I got somebody doing returns, I need someone that's not gonna fumble the football. I need somebody that's not gonna fair catch every time. Because y'all know when we had Eric Weems, as he got older, all he would do was fair catch every freaking time. But as far as punt returns, I would go with Zacchaeus. Yeah, I would go with Zacchaeus with the punt returns, and I think I would go with Ito Smith with the kickoff returns. Now, I've seen the second question. I think he said was Jarrett Pinkney. Will he win the third tight end spot? I think he is going to win that third spot, just for the mere fact of, I don't know if you guys seen his tape, but he was one of the guys that was on my draft board. And he's one of those guys that's physical, man. Mm-hmm. He's one of those guys that you put in on the goal line, and he's going to move people around. He's going to move furniture around. That dude's huge. So he's definitely somebody that Jarrett Pinkney, and he's sneaky with his hands. He can catch the ball, but he's a better blocker than he is as far as a pass catcher. So I would use him as that third guy on the goal line. I would put him in a jumbo package. When we go 3 tight end set, I would throw Jarrett Pinkney in there and maybe try to sneak him in for a quick touchdown where you sneak. You know how they do the little plays where somebody sneak into the back corner of the end zone because they're going to get so tired of him pancaking everybody that they're going to forget about him. And he's gonna sneak in at least get 1 touchdown this season off of they thinking he's going to come in just the box, and then he'll sneak behind somebody and get a touchdown catch. But he's one of those physical type tight ends. So I definitely love him because everybody knows Luke Stalker last year was an accident waiting to happen. I couldn't stand Luke Stalker last year. Every time it seemed like Matt Ryan looked in his direction, he threw an interception. He either fumbled the football. Interception. Yeah, man. It was like Shaq and the Fool. Anytime they looked to Luke Stalker, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to him, dog. Because when he was in Tennessee, he was straight. But when he put on our colors for whatever reason, he forgot how to play football, man. He was a deer in headlights. So I'm glad that Luke Stalker's gone, man. Because last year he really disappointed. I thought he was going to be that physical, like fullback / H-back / tight end, but he really disappointed me last season. So I think Jarrett Pinkney is going to really come in and surprise a lot of people. To me, he should have been drafted. I don't know why he went undrafted. He definitely should have been drafted.
Hey,
Kevin?
Well, return wise, I look at Russell Gage.
Ooh,
you want him to have the ball. You want him to have the ball as much as he can. Cause you talking about a dog. That's a dog right there.
Yeah, I like Russell Gage. Russell Gage cold.
That's a cold man. But like you said, Jarrett Pinkney. Oh yeah, I could definitely see that third tight end spot. Like you said, you need a blocker, and Luke Stalker. First of all, his first name is Luke, so you know he's trash. So, no offense to anybody named Luke, but I'm just saying, name a good Luke in the NFL.
There's only one Luke that's coming to mind that's cold, and it ain't Luke Stalker. The man that I'm thinking of is retired. He just retired.
That's it.
Luke Kuechly is the only guy I can.
Hey, man. That is Luke Kuechly. That's it. That's the only Luke that I know that was any good.
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
What? Okay,
we're talking about that's playing right now.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Let me reiterate that. Carolina Panthers fans, I'm sorry. Luke Kuechly is a man. Is the bomb. But other than him, everybody's ass. Ass.
Woo, man. I think this is a question for you. Do you think Todd have a bigger impact than Devonta Freeman? Man.
Hell yeah.
That's my brother right there with that question, y'all. He coming in hard.
That shit stink. Come on, man. The shit stink. Hell yeah. That look. Hell yeah, he gonna be. He can get us 2 yards on the goal line. Look, Devonta Freeman little ass can't do that. I love him to death. He was one of my favorite players. But like I've been watching film. I've been watching film on him, and this dude is an absolute shell of himself. And I see why he's not signed right now. He ran like he was scared last year. He didn't want no part of contact at all. And the Falcons need. This is the reason why they went and got and brought in. First, they went and brought Hill. Then they drafted Quadri Olison. Why is that? Think about it, Falcons fan. Why would you go out and get 2 big backs and then you bring in one of the best, if not the best, big back in the league in Todd Gurley? I don't give a damn when nobody tell you, look, that motherfucker, his leg might be goddamn hound, but that motherfucker can still run clean over you and run past you when he wants to. Todd Gurley is a beast, okay? The guy he has a knack for the goal line, and that's what you need in Atlanta. Falcons fans, hear me. We don't need him to be 1,000-yard. We need him to keep the clock churning.
There you go.
Matt Ryan is going to get yards. Julio, Matt Ryan, as long as Matt Ryan is healthy, we're going to get yards. We're going to move the ball. But in order for us to win and have big games in key situations, we need Todd Gurley to do what he does, and that's run clean over people. So hell yeah, in my opinion, hell yeah, he's going to be better. What y'all think, man?
You want me to go, Kevin?
Yeah, go ahead, Drew.
Hey, that question was for my brother, so he coming in with them hard-hitting questions. So he know I'm going to go in on this joint right here. Look, this the deal. This the deal. So Todd Gurley is definitely going to have, I think, a bigger impact than Devonta Freeman had on this team. Just for the mere fact of what Mike was talking about. When I look at a running back, I look at yards after contact. That's what he's going to bring to this team that we've been missing. To me, Freeman was one of those guys, like a jitterbug type player, where he would try to make you miss. And as he got older, I really think, and as Mike was saying, Devonta Freeman was one of my favorite players. I tell people, up until Todd Gurley coming over to Atlanta, he was my favorite running back to watch because he was small, but Devonta Freeman played with so much heart. If you go watch his YouTube highlights from 2015 when he went crazy, 2016 when he went crazy, he would literally run over people. He was little, but he had so much heart, man. He would run over, he would run over you, he would run through you, he would run around you. But I think, and this is what I'll be talking about, players getting paid. And I went back and forth with my subscribers and people talking about Devonta Freeman shouldn't have got that that contract. It should have been Tevin Coleman. I really think that hindsight is always 20/20. If you look at Tevin Coleman, he can't stay healthy either. So personally, I think Devonta Freeman earned every single penny. He earned every single penny of that contract. If you go look at 2015, he led the league. I think he had at one point like 15 touchdowns, something crazy. He was going crazy. But I think the biggest thing that messed Devonta Freeman up, crazy like that. Yeah, I think what really messed him up was those concussions and those knee injuries. Because I remember reading an article that they say he had talked to Warwick Dunn, and Warwick Dunn was telling him that you can't always try to get that extra yard. You have to learn how to run out of bounds. But some players only know how to play one way.
Right.
Some players only know how to play full speed. They don't know how to run out of bounds. So how Mike was talking about Freeman kind of played scared last year, I really think he tried to listen to Warwick Dunn and tried to limit the big hits he took, because if you go watch Freeman in his early years when he was in his prime, he would literally take on anybody. He would go at anybody. And I think that your body only has so many hits in it. So I feel like for running backs, I understood why Devonta Freeman, after those 2 great years, after the Super Bowl, when he was demanding a contract, I understood why he was demanding a contract, because you never know. You one hit away from being out of the league. You're a running back. You take so many hits in between the tackles and so many hits to the head, to the knees, that you only have so much in the tank. And I really feel like because of Devonta Freeman's small frame, I feel like that's the reason he didn't last as long as some of these bigger running backs. Like Todd Gurley, I feel like he's going to last a little bit longer because he's bigger. So his body can take a little bit more punishment than Devonta Freeman's body can take. So all of those people that's doing that hindsight's 20/20, talking about Tevin Coleman. If y'all remember when Tevin Coleman was here his first season, he was a fumbling machine. I don't know how many Sundays I would be like, Tevin Coleman, he got daylight. I remember one play where he got tracked down from behind and fumbled the ball. I was like, come on, man, this dude can't hold on to the football. Yeah, man, I was like, this guy can't hold on to the football. And I love, and don't get me wrong, when Tevin Coleman was here, I loved his game. He had speed, and he was a great one-cut back. But to me, out of the two, if I could do it all over again, and you told me that Devonta Freeman would still get hurt, I still would have paid Devonta Freeman. just for the mere fact that to me he ran harder than Tevin Coleman ran, and to me he was just a better all around running back. The cuts that Devonta Freeman used to do, I remember I was watching one Monday night football game. I think we were playing against, it was either Thursday night or Monday night, and he was breaking ankles out there. It was against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we was in our color rush jerseys, the all white joints, and he was out there breaking ankles. I remember he broke the safety's ankles on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So Devonta Freeman was one of those guys that back in the day, he would embarrass your tail. If you ain't open field, then nobody want to see Devonta Freeman in his prime. Now, I would say with Todd Gurley, like I said, what he's going to add, the dimension he's going to add is when you get on the goal line or when you need that 1 or 2 yards, he's like Ezekiel Elliott. He's going to put his head down and he's going to get that 1 or 2 yards. And he's going to get that 3rd or 4th and inches. He's going to get that because of his size. His size alone, he'll be able to turn it up. Where Freeman will try to cut it outside and get tackled for losses, Gurley is going to be able to turn it up and cut right inside. He's not going to always look for the big play. He's going to get that 1 or 2 yards after contact. So that's where we're going to see the big difference is on the goal line and on those short yardage downs where y'all know we could never pick up 4th and 1. We could never pick up 3rd and 2. And it was because Devonta Freeman always looked to bounce it outside instead of just turning it up inside and taking the 1 or 2 yards. So that's the biggest difference I think we're going to see.
I got 3 points to make on this one. Todd Gurley had a bum leg last year, right? As they say, he had a bum leg. Right?
Yeah.
Still had 14 touchdowns on a bum leg.
On a bum leg.
That's it, man. On a bum leg. On a bum leg.
He could have a wooden leg out there and get more touchdowns than Devonta Freeman right now.
Hey, man.
man.
But number 2, the second point, why I think his impact would be the best is pass protection.
There you go. That's a big one.
Man,
that's one of the best pass protection running backs in the game right now. And I know you heard that Calvin Ridley said he was trying to get 1,000 yards this year. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if you have 2 1,000-yard receivers this year.
Woo. Yeah, you're right about that. Man, this
and 3. I love Devonta Freeman. I used to call him Capri Sun when he came in. That boy he got old real quick. And I remember that.
You must have called Capri Sun because he had the juice. That's what you must have called
He
Capri
had the
Sun.
juice, man.
He had the juice, dog. He had the juice, man.
He had the juice.
But that juke he was talking about against Tampa Bay, that defender's ankles are still implanted on that field right now.
Oh, when he juked old boy,
Hey.
I tore my ACL when he juked old boy.
My
My knees buckled. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey,
I got a whole new hip because of that juke. But I think what Devontae's problem was, like you said, he got too jittery. He kept trying to jump cut everything. And you can't jump cut 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage and think you're gonna get
behind our offensive line last year. Especially not behind our offensive line last year.
No.
Let me tell you something. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was about to say because, like you said, especially like with McGarity and Lindstrom still trying to work the kinks out on that right side, because that's where most of the yards gonna come from this year. On the right side. The left side with Jake Matthews, I don't know, but like I said, he shows flashes. His only problem is he got to stop getting these holding calls when we get big plays. That's what I see.
Yeah, timing is terrible with him.
But yeah, Todd Gurley, I think you might see 2016 Todd Gurley this year, but you're not gonna see the full. You just gonna need enough to where Matt Ryan and this offense can throw the ball downfield. Right. Defense is on. That's where his impact be at.
That's exactly right. And to kind of go into that before we go to the next question. One thing about Devonta Freeman really kind of irritated me. It really wasn't his skill. I think he still has something left, but as we don't know, athlete, just when we see a guy who's not confident in his, it's not his body, but his mind isn't there. Like he just doesn't have that same like. Look, he doesn't have that same mentality. Like you're saying, like say Freeman used to try to run over like 300. You see what he tried to do with Aaron Donald, and he almost got Hulk smashed by that. Like he got that heart, but when you
I hate the team left about to dry like that though.
Exactly.
Hey man, look. Ain't nobody tell his ass to go fuck with that man is Hulk. Like that dude is the Hulk. He is damn Thanos. Okay, that man alone. I ain't messing with that dude.
Hey, Freeman from Florida, so them Florida boys don't give a fuck.
Hey, but what y'all talking about is what I loved about Devonta Freeman. That he had when you play running back and you little, you have to have a little bit of crazy in you, dog. And one thing that I loved about him is the Rams was embarrassing us. It was embarrassing us in that game. That game that y'all talking about, that was a game that Matt Ryan got hurt, and it was really embarrassing us in that game. And when Devonta Freeman's got the fighting out there, got him and Aaron Donald got into it. What I liked about it is he showed that he wasn't gonna lay down. Like I ain't gonna sit out here and embarrass me. Hey, I might be losing the game, but I'm gonna win this fight. Even though he didn't win the fight, but he was throwing some punches like
dancing and
he was lifting up in the air like a little baby. Yeah, but he was out there. He was fine though. He got embarrassed, but hey, he said, "Hey, look, if I'm gonna go down swinging. I ain't gonna sit here and let them just embarrass us." And we was at home. The Rams were just doing what they wanted to Matt Ryan, doing what they wanted to us, slamming our guys and all that. I said, "Oh no." Freeman got pissed off, and that's one thing you have to have is competitive spirit. One thing about Devonta Freeman, he might not still got his legs and got his knees, and he might have taken too many hits, but that dude is still really competitive, and that's one thing that I could always respect about any player.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's really Devonta Freeman. I just wish, I just hope that this guy doesn't have CTE because I've been saying some crazy shit about this dude lately. I hope he don't turn into AB, man, because we don't need that shit. Like we definitely don't need that from him because he's been talking some crazy stuff. Like, dude. You got to understand the times and what you're playing. You got to understand, like running backs are just not, they're not highly coveted these days. Like you can get a running back in the 5th round. You can get a running back in the 7th round. Like I've seen 7th round running backs come in and they make this squad. Like that. This has happened. We see it with Quadri Olison, who came in and won the short yardage job for the Atlanta Falcons. So like you don't have to like running backs into the NFL. You don't necessarily you got to understand that you're not going to get paid like receivers. You're not going to get paid like tight ends a lot of times. You're going to get paid like a running back. You are replaceable. So I understand his need and I understand that he is a former Pro Bowler, but look, what the NFL say? What the NFL stand for? Y'all remember the slogan?
Not for long.
The NFL stands for not for long. Not for long. And that's what you got to understand. That's what you got to understand, bro. Like you did that shit in 2016, 17, but what the hell have you done for me lately? And he doesn't get that. So he got to understand that from a player standpoint, man. It's not personal. It's all about production. If you're not producing for the team like we are accustomed and how we pay, adios, gone.
Yeah, because wasn't he the highest quarterback in the league at that time?
Yeah, he was.
Yes, he was the higher paid. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like, bro, what plan did you on? Bro, you didn't even rush for 1,000 yards, and you think you're gonna go to free agency and get a job? Bro, you did not even run for 10 touchdowns.
You better thank Uncle Luke for that.
This dude got CTE. Hey, man. that Luke did all that. I don't know what he was giving them booty shaking holes or something. I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but he got to get that shit straight, bro. He got to get that shit straight. That dude head all messed up. But man, who do y'all boys have and trust right now? Tack, Chris Harris, Kaminsky. Man, who do y'all have on the defensive line? Like who are you most, Kevin? Who do you most like on the defensive line right now? I mean, besides Grady Jarrett, everybody gonna say Grady Jarrett. That just throw him out. That just throw Grady out. Yeah.
Hey y'all, and before you go, Kevin, I don't mean to cut you off. He means Charles Harris, bro. I think he said Chris Harris. I think he's talking about Charles Harris.
Charles Harris.
We know what he talking about.
Yeah,
he good. Yeah. We know what he's talking about. You talking about out of those three, out of Tack, Harris, or Kaminsky? Who
just out of the defensive lineman, out of the defensive line, yeah. Go ahead, yeah. Answer like that.
I mean, if I'll answer that question, I think I trust Kaminsky more. The only thing about Tack is I love his motor, but sometimes his mind ain't in it, and he gets frustrated too easily. Because he could bull rush the hell out you, but what else can you do? Because you done already ate crow. You already ate crow on Facebook talking about if you ain't got 10 sacks, you'll cut your dreads. Don't think nobody forgot about that. But like I said,
we forgot about it. We're gonna hear about that.
He got all the ability. It's the mentals is what's hold him back. Now Kaminsky, like I said, this is a guy right here. Like, he might not be your everyday starter, but if you look at the size that he has at 6'5", 285, that's a big boy. And
man, country strong. That's what we call it. Country strong.
That's country strong. And then you forget he played quarterback in college too, so he got a motor on him. So he got that mentality.
Hey, yeah, he definitely does.
And Chris, like I said, Charles Harris. Like I said, I see what he got there, especially coming from Missouri. I see a lot there. But it's kind of questionable, only because where does he fit in the rotation? Because we already know,
right?
We already know Grady Jarrett, Dante Fowler, Marlon Davidson, Tyler Davidson. Where he gonna fit in? But I feel like if Kaminsky hadn't got hurt, I think he could have definitely had a bigger impact. And I'll leave it at that.
Fact.
All right.
I agree. I agree with you, Kevin.
What you think, man?
I agree with Kevin on this one. Other than I like Charles Harris a little bit better as a pass rusher. I think that John Kaminsky, the thing about him is he can play any position. You can use him as a 3 technique because he's so big. You can use him as a defensive end. But I think with Kaminsky, he puts me in the mind of Patrick Kearney. Y'all remember Patrick Kearney?
Oh, I love him.
That's who he puts me in the mind of, man. Country strong.
Oh, yes.
A big dude. And one thing that I like about Kaminsky, he's one of those dudes that you can put on the outside and tell him, basically cut off the edge, set the edge in the run game. Just set the edge. That's all we need you to do. He's one of those guys that's a glue guy that he's going to do whatever you ask him to do. He's more of a Swiss Army knife. So I feel like you can use John Kaminsky anywhere on the line. Like I was saying, you can use him as inside as a nose tackle. You can place him outside as a defensive end. So I really think that, like you were saying, Kevin, is that you can use him in any situation. Like, he'll be easier to use in the rotation, where Charles Harris is strictly a defensive end. So when is he going to get his time? Are you going to take Tack out the game, which this is a proven year for Tack? Are you going to take Dante Fowler off on a third down, where it's a big third down, and you just paid them all that money? I don't see them pulling those guys off the field unless, God forbid, one of those guys get injured, or God forbid, like we're just doing rotations. So I don't know if you guys remember when we were basically subbing whole defensive lines in and out. I think one year we were doing that. I think it was in 2016 we did that song.
Yeah.
But this year we're deep
2016,
enough. Yeah, we're deep enough to do that this year. So I'm really interested to see, are we going to be doing line shifts like this is hockey? Because if we do that, man, and that's what I was telling you guys about Grady Jarrett. A lot of these guys are going to be on the sideline hydrated, dog. They're going to be hydrated, bro. And that's scary because one thing I don't think people realize, I really think that Grady could have had more than 3 sacks in that Super Bowl. But what happened is in the second half, that defense played so many plays that they got tired out. That pass rush was getting to Brady early. They was all over Brady. In that first half, we was all over them. But then in the second half, as time wore on, and as Brady now went to that no huddle offense, it really tired out those 3 guys we were using. It tired out Vic Beasley. They tired out Grady Jarrett. Even though he keeps going, when you're doing those little short 5-yard passes, because you know Brady is good for doing them quick 3-step drops. You only can rush so many times without getting tired. And that's what really killed us. Like we weren't deep enough. And that's what I'll talk about this year. If you've been watching my channel, with this COVID-19 going on and with injuries and things of that nature, I feel like we've done a great job of adding depth on this team. We're one of the deepest teams in the league. Because to me, in the past, we didn't do a good job of having depth behind the starters. To me, the drop-off was huge, enormous. Like last year, when Keanu Neal went down, we went from having Keanu Neal to Kamal Ishmael. It's no comparison. It's like going from gold to somebody right off the street, really. Because really, to be honest, Kamal Ishmael, no disrespect to Kamal Ishmael, but at that point, he was kind of washed, man. And Kamal Ishmael, to me, he was a hard hitter and things of that nature. And I really think that Dan Quinn liked him because he was a good locker room guy. He was a good dude to build camaraderie with the team and stuff like that. He was good on special teams. But to me, Kamal Ishmael really was more of a linebacker at that point. He wasn't a safety because he didn't have that range anymore. And I really felt like when Keanu Neal went down and they said, well, we're going to put Ish back there, I started shaking my head. I did a video immediately after that and was like, we're going to get killed next week because Ishmael don't have his coverage skills are terrible. He was a solid tackler, but in space, he was horrible. He was horrible in coverage. And that's what really killed us. So this year, I just seen this morning that we brought back JJ Wilcox. Man, I was hyped about that because now we got Wilcox. We got Deion Buchanan. We got Neal. So if Neal go down, God forbid he go down again. Knock on wood. Because I don't want
Hopkins.
Yeah, man. I don't want to see. Yeah, I don't want to see him get hurt. But Mike's talked about this. He made a whole video about what the physicality that Keanu Neal adds to this team. So if Neal goes down for any reason, Buchanan is one of those guys that's really physical. And JJ Wilcox, if you go watch his tape when he was with the Dallas Cowboys, he's one of those dudes that's gonna knock your head off. And that's what I like about this team is we went and got some dogs, man. We tired of being soft because the last couple of years we've been kind of soft. I don't care what nobody say, and a lot of people ain't gonna want to hear me say this about the Falcons, but I said it. We was like cottonelle tissue the last couple of years. When Neal went down, wasn't nobody scared to come across the middle. That's what we're talking about. No, nobody was scared to come across the middle.
Come across that middle.
But last year, nobody was scared to do it. Teams would eat us up across the middle. Once Neal went down, wasn't nobody scared of Ricardo Allen little self, and nobody was scared of DeMonte Casey. Now, one thing I can respect about DeMonte Casey, as little as he is, he got the right nickname, Crazy Casey, because Casey will knock your head off, or he would try. And in the midst, he might knock himself out the game trying to hurt you.
Bust that ass.
Yeah, man. Y'all see what he did to Cam Newton? It was a little dirty, but he tried to take his head off.
Look, man, I'm gonna say now, Keanu Neal, and this is the most underrated aspect of defense, and one of the most physical and most underrated defensive players in Atlanta Falcons history is Scott Case. Scott Case was one of those safeties that if you brought your ass across that middle, if you thought you was going to catch the ball and we're going to lollygag and we're going to do the Sean Jackson, you're going to turn around and backpedal and all that shit, he will knock your motherfucking head clean off if you even try that shit. The next time you go across the middle, and this is another thing that I don't like about the NFL right now. You're not allowed to take cheap shots at players anymore. That shit, that right there, that right there changed the game, man. You got to be able to take cheap shots on play, man. Why I say that? It's because these little ass receivers think they really think they the shit. They think they're the crap. You bring your little ass across that middle if you want to. When Keanu Neal, you see what he did to damn Jimmy. You see what he did to Mike Evans. Mike Evans jumped up. Mike Evans, that's what I'm talking about. Mike, look, that
he do that to everybody, Mike. You see what he do?
He got that crazy. He got that crazy look in his eyes. Like that's one thing about Keanu that he like Mike Tyson. That motherfucker got that crazy look in their eyes. Like, yeah, something wrong with that motherfucker. I ain't fucking with him.
Yeah.
That's Keanu Neal, and that's what you need on the defensive side of the ball. When somebody highlights and try all up that dancing and shit. Look, next thing you know, put Keanu Neal, go to a cover three, make them throw the ball in the middle so Keanu Neal can knock your motherfucking head off. That's what the Falcons are missing. This is the reason why they went out and got a guy, Deion Buchanan. This is the reason why I start, because players, you go back and look at the Colts game. I was looking at the Colts game today. The Colts were just, we're just going to throw the ball and they're not going to tackle us. Bro, nobody was afraid of that Falcons defense. Like you said, they wasn't afraid to go across the middle. They knew they weren't going to get tackled. You can't have that. You have to instill fear in football. If there is no fear, your ass is going to get roasted, toasted, dusted, busted, all that shit. All right. This is what the Falcons are missing. And now I feel as though this is what the Falcons are going to continue to like that. This is going to be exciting. I'm sorry. I love defense. I love hitting. I'm just, hey man, y'all go to the next question. Somebody got a question. I can talk about this shit all day. I can talk about defense all day.
Go to the next question. I want to make one point. Okay, what you said about Keanu Neal, right? I don't know if y'all remember a video game, Super High Impact Football on Sega Genesis.
I do.
When you hit a motherfucker,
I know exactly what you're
talking
about.
Pants come off. That's Keanu Neal right there.
Look, Kevin, I don't remember that one, bro.
Super High Impact Football.
Hey, man. Hey.
I don't remember that one, Kevin. I remember Blitz. I remember NFL Blitz, dog.
No, Blitz was bad, but this was worse because they used to talk shit if you got hit.
Mm-hmm.
But that's Keanu Neal in a nutshell right there.
That was a good game.
All I'm gonna say is pull up Keanu Neal,
monster, man. You talking about
Willie Snead? Pull up the Keanu Neal hitting Willie Snead.
Woo! I thought they broke that man whole rib. I thought that man rib was gone, bro.
He knocked that man's soul from his body.
He went from a blonde to a brunette on that hit.
Hey man, look. Hey man, that's what you need on it. But like seriously, that's what the Falcons have needed for a while. They need an enforcer, man. We haven't had an enforcer in quite some time, and I love Deion Jones. I love Devonta Campbell, who's a sure tackler. That's what I did not like about Devonta Campbell. He was a big guy, but he played like a little fucking sissy. Like, bro, you 250 fucking pounds, and you ain't late. When the last time you seen Devonta lay anyone out? Seriously, think about it. When was the last time you seen Devonta Campbell lay anyone out? Your ass is 6'4", 240 pounds, and you have not laid no one out. They did not fear this team. Now we got linebackers. Now we got linebackers who will knock your ass out. Oh, you just don't put me into depression now. Like, look,
he could have. Look, Mike. I said he couldn't have been as worse as Paul Warlow.
Warlow was just little. Warlow had heart.
I don't know, man. I don't know. he was little, and he was definitely.
He had no cover skills neither.
He was definitely
Warlow could tackle
as hell.
He was
hard.
Slow.
He had all the heart in one.
Yeah,
I call him Rudy. If y'all seen Rudy, that was Warlow, dog. Rudy, he was Rudy Rudiger. The little engine that could, dog.
Rudy. So what he said? It said, do you think Hooper will have more yards than Hurst this year?
No.
Hell no. You got Baker Mayfield throwing on the ball. Hell no.
Nah, man. I don't see that happening. No, you're right. I don't see it happening, dog.
They got two for one. They have many weapons. You can't What are you seeing that? But as you're going to throw the ball every way, he's not going to get those same numbers. Yeah, I mean, that's just ridiculous to even think about it. They have Njoku that's still there. He demanded a trade, but he reneged, and they still have Odell. They got too many weapons on that offense. So no, he won't. He's not going to get the same numbers. He's not going to get the same numbers. That's the issue that we've had this past season with the Atlanta Falcons, and why we had to trade Mohamed Sanu, because we had too many weapons. We wanted to feature Russell Gage more. We wanted to feature Calvin Ridley more. Those guys getting the touches that they need. So you got too many weapons, man. You gotta you have to. When you have too many weapons, man, somebody's gonna suffer. So we're gonna keep throwing what's his name? Austin Hooper the ball and abandon Odell Beckham because Austin Hooper is complaining about he's not getting in touches. Hell no. Your ass a kick rock, straight his ass to the damn Dolphins. The hell with that? No.
Yeah, man. Y'all already know that ain't happening. Hooper, y'all know how Odell is when he don't get the ball. If you don't look his way a couple times, if you don't look his way, y'all see what he did to that kicking net on the sideline. Y'all know how Odell is. Y'all already know how Odell is. Odell want the ball every play. And then you got Jarvis Landry over there with him, and he playing the slot, so he pretty much playing the same space Hooper plays in. So ain't no way Hooper's going to be able to have more yards than Hurst. Another thing that I think people are failing to realize is I think Hurst is actually a better run out the catch player, because Hooper was one of the slowest tight ends I've ever seen run out the catch. He want to catch the ball and he want to jump and hurdle when it ain't necessary. Instead of just going to catch the ball and go up the field and get yards, he want to hurdle everybody. So I think Hayden Hurst, he's one of those guys that's physical. When he gets the ball, he's like a running back, and he got some speed with him. He was a first-round draft pick by the Ravens for a reason. So that's another guy y'all need to go watch tape on YouTube. Go watch his highlights, because I think Hayden Hurst had like a 60-yard touchdown last year from Lamar Jackson. He had like a 60 to 65-yard touchdown, and it was a run out the catch. It was like a 10-yard pass, and he took that jump up the sideline, and I don't think they knew he had that kind of speed on him. I didn't even know he had that type of speed on him. But it was a nice run. It was the longest run I've seen, run out the catch I've seen from a tight end in a long time. So Hayden Hurst gonna surprise a lot of people because he's physical. To me, Hooper was one of those California cool breeze, kind of soft, to be honest. As big as Austin Hooper was, to me, he was kind of soft.
Soft as hell.
He was kind of soft, dog.
Soft ass crybaby. He's a soft ass crybaby.
Charmin soft.
Yeah, he was big, but he should have been a lot more physical. He should have been a lot more physical than he was. And Hayden Hurst, he gonna live up to the hype, man. I think Mike be calling him Triple H. He gonna live up to the billing, dog. Hayden Hurst.
Triple H.
I like that.
Yeah, he physical.
Yeah, Austin Hooper. Yeah, like you said about that run.
Hell, by long shot.
Oh my God, Austin Hooper. Lord have mercy. I think it took him 3 days to run 20 yards.
Yeah, that boy was slow.
As slow as he was. I remember one game. I literally took a piss when he caught the ball. Came back 2 minutes later. He was still running 10 yards.
Man.
Hey man,
I kid you not. Hey, it was the funniest thing I ever seen. But like you said, Baker Mayfield as a quarterback, he's gonna realize that Matt Ryan made him his contract.
Yeah, he did. Matt Ryan got that boy paid.
The only thing Baker Mayfield's gonna throw him is some Moose Track ice cream.
This dude was at Moose. Hey man, look. Hey man,
like I said, Hayden Hurst. Don't be surprised. He could get about. I think he could get about 800 yards this year. Minimum.
Easy.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Yeah.
Minimum.
Yeah.
If done right, we might have 3 1,000-yard receivers.
Yeah, I think the I can see that. I can definitely see that happen. That's not out of the picture. That's actually happened. That was almost the case for the Falcons when they had Roddy White, Julio Jones, and Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez is like he had like 900 yards receiving, so that's definitely not out of the question, man. Matt Ryan loves his favorite targets. Believe it or not, is not actually Julio. Matt Ryan prefers to throw to the tight ends. He's always said that. It's the safest, most easiest throw for a quarterback. So now he has a tight end that he trusts, and one that is athletic. Man, he's gonna fall in. Once he see how Hayden Hurst take that shit, he'll take a slant and that bitch turn that much 30 yards. Oh, he's gonna fall in love with him fast, quick, and hurt. And we're gonna see people turn around and say, look. If the Falcons have a tight end who can create, and we're talking about a tight end create, and stay with me when I say this, okay? Stay with me when I say this. When you have a tight end who can create, that is a major concern. Look at Kansas City. Kansas City is a perfect example. They don't have a Julio Jones, but they have Kelsey who can take a damn slant to the house. That is what Hayden Hurst brings. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, right? That doesn't matter if he's the third or fourth target. If a defense is afraid of a tight end, you've already won. You've already won. Period. Because you cannot guard a tight end. You can't account for when he's going to break out and take it, he's going to break out from blocking and just, go into the flat and turn it up. You can't account for that type of stuff for the defensive coordinator. You only hope that you train tight ends, but you can't account for that a lot of the time. Unless you double team tight end, and you're not going to double team tight ends with Julio and Calvin Ridley. You're not going to do it. So the Falcons offense, this is the first time, and I'm going to say this. This is the first time since 2012 I've actually said that this is the most talented offense that I have ever seen with Matt Ryan. And I'm talking about any team. I guarantee. Look, I promise you put the Falcons against the Patriots. It don't matter who the hell it was. And the Patriots, it doesn't matter if it was the Rams with Todd Gurley in his heyday. It doesn't matter any team. Any offense, I can guarantee you that the Falcons' offense is, if not better or equal to any offense that have like these guys who have actually broken records. You look at Peyton Manning when they had the Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne. They had two elite receivers. They had a pretty good tight end and
Dallas Clark.
Tight end, but they had a pretty good tight end with him also. Dallas Clark. They had Dallas Clark. Dallas Clark was what damn, there I go. I call him Hunter Hurst Hemsley again. But Dallas Clark is what he is, and he's a much more athletic. He's a much more athletic tight end than Dallas Clark was. So when you got an animal in Julio, man, you got to triple team him. Like, you really have Julio. You can't play Julio like with two men. You can't do that because he can take a slant to the house in 2.5 seconds. Like, he can take that bitch like he's really Jet Jones. That dude is really Jet Jones. Okay, you can't leave two players on here because he's going to take that bitch to the house. And now you got a tight end to worry about on top of it, and you got a Calvin really. can run routes better than Julio Jones? I never thought I'd see that. I never thought I'd see a wide receiver who can run routes better than Julio Jones, bro.
Hot take, Mike. Hot take, man. Hey,
Matt Ryan. You forgot one more receiver out of that group too.
I know. Oh, I know.
I was about to say, no, I was going to say Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley, Russell Gage is a beast too, and that's Hey, my hot take is Matt Ryan throwing for over 5,000.
That's what I'm saying.
He's going for 5,000 yards this year, y'all.
I can see that. I could easily.
The way that Dirk Cutter likes to throw the football.
Yeah.
The way that Dirk Cutter likes to throw that football. Matt Ryan got close. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. He got close to 5,000, throwing for over 5,000. This year he gonna go. He just got past
this last year. He was like 70 something.
Yeah,
he was like 60 something yards, 60 something this past year.
Yeah, so he gonna get that this year. I really think that Calvin Ridley's gonna get his first 1,000-yard season. He would have had it last season if he didn't get injured. Julio, you can book it. He always gets over 1,000 yards. And then I really think that Matt Ryan's gonna go over 5,000. That's my hot take.
Who is your early candidate for most interceptions in our secondary?
He said Casey. Man, Casey a ball hawk, man. Casey a ball hawk. But I think the rookie gonna surprise a lot of people.
Go ahead, dude. Go, Jude.
Yeah, I think the rookie gonna surprise a lot of people, man. I really like the kid AJ Terrell, man. I really like AJ Terrell. I think a lot of people are asleep, but I think he's one of those guys that he's very opportunistic, man. He's a guy that I can see gonna get beat on a couple double moves because he's still wet behind the ears. But he's one of those guys that if you that quarterback and you throw that ball in the flats, it's game over. Because he's a guy that looks to make the big play. And if you remember against Alabama in the championship game, when he took that thing to the house, one thing about him is he's a cornerback that likes to watch the quarterback. He always turns back and watches the quarterback's eyes. So he's one of those guys, like I said, I can see him getting beat on a couple double moves. But if he gets his hands on that football, he's one of those guys that turns into an offensive playmaker. Because if you go look at his history, AJ Terrell was actually a wide receiver in high school. So he's one of those guys, if he gets his hands on that football, he's kind of like a Robert Alford. If he gets his hands on it, he's an athlete. He's turning into a running back with the ball. He ain't looking to go out of bounds. He's looking to take that thing back for a touchdown. So he's a big playmaker, man. So I love when we drafted him, I thought we reached a little bit to get him. But we really needed a playmaker because, to me, Oliver is not really that type of cornerback. Darquez Denard is not really a cornerback that way that looks for the ball. Now, Kendall Sheffield, he's another guy that's one of my dark horses that I think he's another guy that plays the football. He doesn't just play the actual defender or the receiver, and he looks at the quarterback as well. He goes for big plays as well. And he's one of those dudes that's going to come down and try to hit you too. And I like cornerbacks that can hit. And Kendall Sheffield is one of those guys that he's going to come down and try to knock your head off like a safety. Even though he ain't the biggest guy, he's going to come down and try to make a play on the football. So I think AJ Terrell might lead the team in interceptions because at least out of the cornerbacks, I can see Casey leading the whole team because he plays that free safety center of the field. So he gets those tip drill type interceptions and all of that. But I really think out of our cornerbacks, I really think that AJ Terrell is the most opportunistic cornerback that we have on this team. And I really think that he might take a couple back to the house because, of course, he's a rookie and a lot of these quarterbacks are going to try him this year. And I think after him taking one back, if he intercepts one and takes it to the house, I think they're gonna think long and hard about throwing his way. But early on, I think they're gonna test the kid and see if he's really like that. And I think he's really like that, man. I think a lot of people are sleeping on him. And one thing that I love about AJ Terrell is I love cornerbacks that have played in big games. He's one of those guys. I think he played in 2 national championship games, if I'm not mistaken, with Clemson. So he's used to being on the big stage, and that big stage doesn't scare him. Sometimes when we get some of these cornerbacks from these smaller schools, they kind of have that fear because they haven't played against the best talent. But him being at Clemson, he didn't play it against the Jarrett Judys. He didn't play it against all the top-notch wide receivers. So lining up against Julio every day in practice, lining up against Michael Thomas is not going to scare him one bit because he didn't went up against all these top-notch guys. and he's been in pressure moments. And it's all about being in those moments, man. I tell people all the time, pressure busts pipes, and everybody ain't ready for that type of pressure, man. And the Falcons this year, I really think that we got a lot of pressure as far as being Super Bowl contenders. Because this year, for Dan Quinn, for all of the players that we brought in, all these first-round picks, this is a make-or-break season for our team. Real talk. For a lot of people, Pat McKinley, a lot of people, you know, they're on the line. It's all on the line right now. All the chips are pushed to the middle of the table, and it's put up or shut up this year for everybody. So I really think that if you're scared, go to church, as they say, because it's all on the line this year, man. So you got to come with it. Yeah, you got to come with it this year. You got to come with it, man. And I think AJ Terrell is one of those guys that
go to church.
But I think he's ready though. I think AJ Terrell is really going to surprise a lot of people, because I've seen a lot of people saying that they were trying to knock him for going up against LSU. I think it was where he kind of got exposed. But I think he's one of those guys that is going to surprise a lot of people. He's going to surprise a lot of people. So I can see him leading the team in interceptions because he's one of those guys that's opportunistic. But what y'all think?
I can't say he got exposed because everybody got their ass beat.
I was about to say the same thing. Yeah,
exactly.
You can't, like I said,
right? Exactly.
Can't knock him for that. Shoot, you like I said, it's crazy. But like he kind of reminds me of Nnamdi Asomugha a little bit.
Uh-oh, be careful with that name.
I'm talking about the Oakland. I'm talking about the Oakland.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I can see that.
We're talking about Oakland now. We're talking about Oakland.
Yeah,
we ain't talking about Philadelphia can't play zone Nnamdi Asomugha.
Right.
I can see that.
But
I can see that.
like I said, because he's kind of got that range, and you say he kind of had like that Robert Alford thing. My only knock about Robert Alford was the pass interference and the holding calls is what killed me with him.
Mm-hmm.
But it was more about confidence and mental with him than anything, because he had the skill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. But like Drew said, he went to a smaller school. He didn't play against that elite talent. Exactly.
Yeah, you can't get can't nobody come from Walmart University and come to the NFL. It ain't gonna work like that. It ain't gonna work like that.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, AJ Terrell, I can see that. But I say Ricardo Allen will lead the interception this year, especially if he's playing strong safety.
Ooh.
They're not gonna try KZ like that. They won't try KZ like that because it's been proven he's too much of a ball hog. Like you said, they gonna try Terrell, but I think Ricardo Allen has that veteran savvy to really kind of nudge on that side and pick a few out. That just is my thought right there. Don't take it.
Man. I'm just going to say this, man. I think it's going to be a safety or a corner. I think a lot of people have just outright disrespected what Deion Jones is. This dude is a big-time player. He's a big-time player. He steps up in big-time moments. And what the is playing more style defense, you're going to see a more aggressive Deion Jones. You got a much more defensive line rotation now. Like when a linebacker has to worry about his feet and linemen coming, chopping his feet, and like these big offensive linemen, they're going at him. They're putting that big 330-pound body frame on them. Like that plays a lot. That plays a lot. And like I said, it's almost like basketball. If you got a damn body check Shaq, bro, he 220 pounds. He can't guard Shaq. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the things you got to worry about at linebacker. So when Deion Jones has athletes on the outside, he has athletes in the back behind him that he doesn't have to worry about. That man can eat. He can jump on those short routes. He can make. We saw what he did against the Bucks. He won the game against the Bucks. That was all I. So my pick for the Atlanta Falcons is going to lead in interceptions, Deion Jones, because we're going to see a much more aggressive Deion Jones, and they're really, really going to, I want to say, cater the defense towards him, but it's going to fit him more because he can do what he does best, and that's roam and get around on the field and make plays on the ball. So I think you're going to see a lot of tip balls, being that this is in Deion Jones. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a tip ball, reading plays. This guy just has a knack for turnovers and getting interceptions. He's always around the ball. So I think it's going to be Deion Jones going to lead the team in interceptions.
That was a good sneaky pick, Mike. I think. Look, I forgot about Debo.
I almost went there, but I went a whole nother direction.
Yeah, Debo, that's swiper right there, man. That's swiper the box right there, man.
All he got to do is say, "What chain?"
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, it's gonna have to come down to the Davidson boys. If they get that pressure up the middle, shoot, hey, anybody can lead this team in interceptions for all I care.
This is a good question right here, Mike. I'm talking about the guard, the left guard. Yeah, man, this is a good question right here. We all know we should all know who's winning that position.
Oh my God!
So left guard mainly, and our defense must continue where they left off. Who would be our starting left guard?
That ain't even without question with me. Matt Hennessy. Hennessy gonna win that guard position, y'all. I think Hennessy's gonna win that position just for the mere fact that I watched him in the Senior Bowl and he was out there manhandling people. And I really think that I was saying it all last season. Jamon Brown, him with those penalties, whether it was holding, whether it was false start, he's one of those guys that was strictly a run blocker. That's it. One run blocker. That was all he was good for. He didn't know how to move his feet. He could not pass protect. And what's the other guy? Carpenter. He went down with injury, but to me, I think he's kind of washed up, man. I really think that he might end up getting cut. I'm sorry to say it, but I could see him getting cut, man. I really think that Hennessy, I think, is going to win that job easily. I think he's going to win that job easily. I see the two guards being Lindstrom and Hennessy. I see the line being Alex Mack, Hennessy, Lindstrom, Caleb McGarry, and Jake Matthews. That's the starting offensive line for the Atlanta Falcons this year, 2020. And yeah, Lindstrom and McGarry, both of those guys are dogs, man. Both of those guys are dogs. Lindstrom is one of those guys you don't want to meet. He's like one of those, if you're from the country, hogs, people think hogs are nice. Man, shoot. That's what Lindstrom reminds me of.
I stayed in Valdosta. I saw a bunch of them down there, man.
Valdosta is Statesboro.
Yeah, man. That's what Lindstrom's a dog, man. Lindstrom and McGarry. Y'all know what he did to that guy down there in New Orleans that first time when we went down to the Superdome. Yeah, he was talking all that stuff, and it was a new sheriff in town. Caleb McGarry came walking in with that cowboy hat on and basically stonewalled him the whole game. He talked all that junk. I can't wait to get my hands on this rookie. That first game, the rookie was ready to play. And another thing that I hate about that second game when we played them on Thanksgiving that a lot of people are missing, Julio Jones wasn't even playing in that Thanksgiving game. The Saints like to talk about, we got y'all that second game. Without our best, our whole offense, mainly, our focal point is Julio Jones. Without Julio being on the offense, you don't have to double team nobody. So, I mean, they act like they still almost lost that game. But that game, we got back 2 onside kicks? We shouldn't even been in that game. 3 onside kicks? We shouldn't even been in that game. So I'm like, to be honest, if Julio was out there, we probably would have ended up winning that game on Thanksgiving, real talk. In that game, I really noticed that the timing was just off in that game. That game, it was Russell Gage. They had Christian Blake out there. They just had a bunch of inexperienced wide receivers out there. And we still made the game look respectable. But as far as the offensive line, so I don't get too far off track, that's why I see it being. What y'all guys think? I definitely think that Hennessy going to get that starting job. I don't even think he's going to have to fight hard for it because, to me, Jamon Brown and Carpenter, and then Wes Schweitzer is not even on the team anymore. To me, all of those guys underperformed last year. So I can easily see Hennessy walking right into that starting position, just like Lindstrom walked right into his position. Him and McGarry basically walked right into starting roles. So I see the same thing for Hennessy. I think that's the reason we drafted him, to be the starter.
Actually, Broderick made a good point in that. Actually, I would have to agree with him. I think Matt Gano would be a good left guard for him.
Oh,
I like Gano.
wow. That's a dark horse. Like nobody. Yeah.
I like Hendall. I like Hendall, but I think he was just brought in to be Alex Mack's understudy and still play a little guard.
Yeah.
But from what I saw from Matt Gano last year, it's the same thing I saw in Lindstrom and McGarry. I saw that nasty dog. I saw that after night strip club nasty.
Yeah.
And he wasn't scared to play. And
Gano a big dude too, Kevin.
Yep.
Gano is a big dude. The only thing I want to know is, can he move his feet? If he can he be that dancing bear? I need to know, can he tangle inside? Because you know, to be inside, it's all about your feet, man. It's all about technique. Jamon Brown, that's his biggest problem. His feet are slow. You gotta have quick feet when you're inside now.
I'm trying to remember what game that was where he played. I saw him. I think it might have been against the Rams, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was the Rams. That's what I was thinking. I think it was the Rams.
I saw him move his feet pretty well.
He moved his feet. Okay,
like said,
that's what I gotta see.
Jamon Brown and James Carpenter, yeah, they move like Rikishi, but I'm just saying. Like I said, it ain't gonna work. Only thing he was moving was saying back that ass up.
Hey man, hey man,
I can see.
I'm gonna say this about like, I honestly don't know. I don't think it matters, to be honest, and that might sound crazy. I don't think the guard matters. Why? Because I think when you have a guard that is so fucking good, like we're talking about, Chris Lindstrom is ahead of his fucking time. In the tape on this guy, he was bringing that shit to Aaron Donald. We're talking about Aaron fucking Donald. We're not talking about no screw up. We're talking about Aaron fucking Donald. He was bringing that shit. He was bringing it to him. So when you have a guard like that's so dominant, you can slide back over a bit and just not worry about Chris. You could put a tight end on the outside of McGarry if you're worried about him not being able to get to the outside. You don't have to worry about Chris Lindstrom. He's going to handle his. So I don't think the left guard matters, and that's why the Falcons, that's why they went out. They didn't sign a guard. Like, think about that. So they are so in love with Lindstrom. They said, "Look, bitch, I ain't got the deal. I got Chris Lindstrom. What the fuck are you gonna do?" It's like me going to the club, back in the early 90s when you got Big Suge Knight. Suge Knight, ain't nobody messing with Suge. Ain't nobody gonna mess with Chris Lindstrom. I know on this shit. Why? Because my big homie back there got my back. That's what the Falcons offensive line is gonna be with Chris Lindstrom. That guy is an absolute monster. He's a mauler. Did you see what he did to Nick Bosa? I thought he almost broke that man rib, like for real. Like this dude pancaked him, like he knocked his ass clean out several times. So you got a bully on the offensive line like that with Chris Lindstrom, man. I don't give a fuck who it is. Look, they can bring back Justin Blaylock and play left guard, and his ass, it won't fucking matter. Why? Because you got Chris Lindstrom and Alex Mack in the middle, and we good. We good. All right, we good. What's up? Like, we good. That's all we good.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said,
oh man.
Yeah, I'm about to say Chris Lindstrom reminds me of Harvey Dahl.
Yeah.
Man, nasty, man.
Lynch a whole dog out there. He a whole dog. He ready to eat somebody lunch. He don't care. He a whole dog. He ain't scared of nobody.
He went to the varsity one time and said, "I'm hungry."
Feed me more. Feed me more. Hey man. Hey man, look. Y'all think our number 2 running back should be Ito or Brian Hill? Oh man. Whew. This is easy for me.
It's easy for me too.
Y'all. I think this is easy. I'll be quick with it. It's quick for me.
I'll let y'all go.
I don't think there should be. I don't think there should be a. Don't announce who's the number. Why? Because it can change each week. You don't need a number 2. All you have is Todd Gurley. Period. It doesn't matter. All right. Like The Rock said, it doesn't matter. All right. It doesn't matter if you have Ito Smith. It doesn't matter if you have Brian Hill. It doesn't matter if you have Quadri Olsen. From week to week, you're going to have different offenses, different defenses that you're going to cross. So don't announce a number 2. Whoever matches well that particular week, that's who you go with. So I don't want to name a number 2. I don't think that's like, I don't think Falcons I don't think they care. If they cared, they wouldn't have 5-6 running backs on the on the roster. They don't care. It doesn't matter.
I think that's unanimous right there. It don't matter.
Yeah, I completely agree with Mike.
It don't matter. It really doesn't.
If you guys been looking at my channel, I'm a huge Brian Hill fan, man. I love Brian Hill. I think he brings that physicality. And after I seen Ito Smith get straight ran over when we played the Rams, I was like, look, it's just what Mike was just saying. Why would y'all put him in there to block? Why would you put him in there to block? And that's what and Mike is making a good point about, if you watch the New England Patriots, they always carry like 4 or 5 running backs. And they basically use different players for different matchups. To me, Ito Smith should be used to catch swing pass. He reminds me of the Patriots running back kid White that they have, James White. That's who he reminds me of. He should be catching swing passes, and he should be used on outside zone runs and tosses. That's what we should be using him for. Brian Hill, if you're gonna want somebody out in there that can block, Brian Hill and Quadri Olsen, and you need short yardage, Quadri Olsen, Brian Hill, Todd Gurley are your guys, because all 3 of those guys are physical. As far as Ito Smith, like I said, I would just use him as a 3rd down back to catch. He reminds me of James White, and he reminds me of Kevin Falk. Do y'all guys remember Kevin Falk that played with the Patriots?
Oh Lord, how could I forget?
Oh yes,
yeah, man. That's what he reminds me of. That's what I would use Ito Smith. I would use him as the kickoff returner, and I would use him to catch swing passes. I wouldn't be using him on 3rd downs when we having somebody in there to block, because that's how he got hurt the first time. It's because he shouldn't have never been out there trying to block a linebacker when he's the smallest running back on the team. That was just dumb. So really, I would have blamed the coaches. When I got injured, crazy. I would have went right over to the sideline and said, "Why y'all do that to me?" They set him up. They set him up. Why y'all do me like that?
Why y'all?
I should be putting cases on all you.
Exactly. Why they do my man like that?
I would have helped y'all, man.
Exactly.
I would have helped y'all. Why y'all didn't jump in, man? I would have helped y'all, man.
Exactly.
What happened was
I did him dirty, man. I did my man Ito dirty. I was like, why y'all do that, man? Like that? Y'all got this linebacker coming full steam. Y'all see the dude in the A gap. He coming full steam, and y'all know Ito Smith ain't got no type of momentum. I don't know why Ito Smith didn't try to cut him. When you that little, I'm cutting all day. I'm cutting legs. That's all he should have did. He should have tried to chop him down like a tree. I don't know why he tried to go up top, and that's what got him injured. So with that being said, like you said, it's no need to name a number 2 running back. At this point, we know Todd Gurley is unanimously the starter, and everybody behind him, I will play off matchup. We looking to throw the ball, I'll bring Ito Smith in to catch little swing passes. And then if we're looking for somebody that's a bruiser that can pick up some yardage, and we're trying to keep Todd Gurley fresh, I would go with Brian Hill and I would go with Quadri Olison because they're the best running backs that we have other than Todd Gurley to get runs after contact or yards after contact. So I would say clearly it doesn't really matter, as Mike was saying. It don't really matter. Just don't have Ito Smith in there blocking no more.
They put them rad dogs in his ass. But yeah, like you said.
That's just, we're gonna go into our parting shots, man, and I'm gonna go first, man. I'm gonna go first on this one, and this is something that I'm so tired of this. Honestly, it's just getting to a point where it's past stupidity, and it's just past, just common knowledge. Like, you would think at some point in time that a fan who has watched bad football and bad play from a particular position, that you would have a greater appreciation for this guy. Who is this guy? Who am I talking about? This guy who I'm talking about is Matt fucking Ryan. How the fuck do you leave a quarterback who has over 40,000 passing yards in his fucking career? That's not a mistake. I've never seen any quarterback mistakenly who wasn't good thrown for 40,000. Maybe he did 10,000, maybe he did 40, maybe he did 20,000, but we're talking about a guy that gets 40,000 passing yards in his entire career. And that's just one of stats. That's just one of the many stats that he holds. And there's only one player who has done what he's done as far as completions, touchdowns, passing yards. And this guy's already in the Hall of Fame. And his bitch ass ain't Tom Brady either. It ain't that Tom Brady. This guy's is Peyton Manning. There was only one player who has done that in his career. And the first 5 years of his career, there was only one player. It ain't Roger Staubach. It ain't Terry Bradshaw. It ain't neither one of those guys. It ain't Kurt Warner. It's Matt motherfucking Ryan. Yet we see this over and over. Not just fans. This is past bias. This is past bias. And I'm just going to say this right now. If you're a Matt Ryan hater, get the fuck off my channel. Don't subscribe to me. Don't tell me this guy's not a fucking Hall of Famer. Because you're a damn idiot if you really and truly believe that. Get the fuck off this channel. Unsubscribe. Fuck me. Because, like, what we do here, we give the truth about players. We're talking about the truth of the matter. How many times have we seen Matt Ryan in the fourth quarter come back with 2 minutes left? No, like 4 minutes left, drive down, get the Falcons in scoring position, actually score, and then what, a minute left in the damn game, the defense just gives it up. How many times have we seen this? How many times we saw it in the Super Bowl? We saw it in 2012. 2012. How many times did this guy have, like, how many times did this guy have to do everything? Why do you guys hate this guy so much that you won't give him the you won't give him proper respect? I don't care if you worship him. I don't care if you don't like him. But to say this is something that I saw today on Twitter, and I've seen this a lot lately, saying that it's all about stats. That's literally the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. How the hell do you gauge how great someone is without stats? Like, can somebody tell me how the hell do you grade a player's greatness without stats? And you try to tell me that Matt Ryan has only got numbers? Like, What the fuck? What the hell? What is wrong with you guys? Like, seriously, you gauge players off their stats, their yards, how many championships they put up. You don't say Tom Brady he's not great because he got 6 rings. Yeah, rings are a part. It's a stat. Therefore, he's in the conversation for being the greatest of all time. But when it comes to Matt Ryan, y'all guys want to ignore all the stats. Y'all want to all that say he's only good because of Julio. He's only good because he had Tony Gonzalez. Well, somebody had to throw the damn ball. Do y'all goddamn Chris Miller at back? Do you want Jeff quarterback again? Do you want Chad Hing at quarterback? Do y'all want them at quarterback? I don't think you do. No. So that's my rant, man. Like, seriously, it's to the point. It's to the point. Hey, man, look, I'm saying, do you want damn Byron Leftwich? Do you want goddamn Joey Harrington? Do you want Ryan Leaf?
Chris Redman? Do
you want damn Tim Tebow? Okay, Chris Redman. We can go on and on and on and on. And everybody's this is like that's Jeff Blake. Man, like, we've seen some terrible quarterback play. And that the excuses that the stuff that I hear from Matt Ryan haters he's only good because he has stats. Like, what the hell? That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. So that's my rant, man. Y'all don't have to rant, but
I want to chime in.
I'm just tired. I'm tired of him. I'm just tired. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, do your thing.
All right, like I said. First of all, I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody watching the stream tonight, and I appreciate you, Mike, Jude, Strictly Prohibited, for giving me a chance to be a part of the family. But on to that, I always say this: Matt Ryan is the only quarterback that I've ever seen that gets shitted on because he has a good receiving core. Every quarterback that's in the Hall of Fame right now, every quarterback that you see is good. Like you said, somebody got to throw Julio the ball. Somebody got to throw Tony Gonzalez the ball. And then if you want to base it on he doesn't have a Super Bowl ring, you got Hall of Fame quarterbacks that have no Super Bowl rings. You look at stats. He got stats up there too. And I always ask them, what do you hate about Matt Ryan so much? They can never give me an answer. And I'm sitting here like, so what's the point? What is the point? Be honest with you. Like I said, he can't do no more than what he can. Hell, remember, John Elway almost didn't win no Super Bowl. Terrell Davis got him 2 of them.
Great.
Like I said, I think Matt Ryan's the only thing that people hate about Matt. I think the only thing that people hate about Matt Ryan so much is because he's not considered marketable because he's not out there like that. You ain't gotta be out there like that. Like I said, if I always tell these fans like this: if your quarterback had Julio Jones, Roddy White, Tony Gonzalez, like I said, would you say the same thing about your quarterback? I'm just gonna leave it at that.
All right, man. So I'm gonna go the same direction Mike went in, but I'm not gonna talk about Matt Ryan. I'm gonna talk about Julio Jones because I feel like the same exact way the same thing he's saying about Matt Ryan. I feel the same exact way about Julio Jones. I feel like Julio Jones is one of the most disrespected future Hall of Famers. He's gonna be first ballot Hall of Fame. If he stopped playing right now, he's gonna be first ballot Hall of Fame. But I feel like the same thing that he was just saying about Matt Ryan is the same thing that I say about Julio Jones. People always talk about wide receivers being divas. But when you're not a diva, when you're like Julio Jones, you come to work, you do your job, you go home, you don't do anything outside, anything wrong. You don't be extra flashy. You don't trash talk guys in the media and things of that nature, like a T.O. and have a big personality, you're hated for it. I don't understand that. To me, you don't come out and say I'm the best wide receiver in the game, like Michael Thomas did, like D-Hop did. And it's just, I feel more like it's the media. I blame the media because if you look at Madden rating, if you look at the media, when you don't help the media write stories and make storylines and headlines, they dislike you. And it's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't type situation. So it's two sides to that coin because people hated T.O. because they said he split locker rooms and he was too much of a lightning rod type player. But then on the other side of that, it's like Julio Jones, the exact opposite of what T.O. was. He doesn't say anything in the media. You don't hear about Julio outside of football. You really don't see him in commercials and things of that nature. So it's just like what Kevin was saying. They look at him as he's not that marketable because he doesn't run his mouth. He doesn't have a big mouth. He's not willing to engage with trash talk on Twitter and things of that nature. But to me, what I don't understand about it is if you look at anybody that has the credentials, when you ask them who the best is, Larry Fitzgerald, arguably the best hands in football or to ever play the game as far as catching the football. He's done it for what? Dang near 20 years. He said that Julio Jones is the best wide receiver he's ever seen. Then you turn around and have Jerry Rice, so-called the GOAT. Everybody calls Jerry Rice the GOAT. I seen him say that Julio Jones is the best wide receiver in the game. But Julio Jones never gets the credit in the media. The Madden ratings, if you look at any Madden, I've been playing Madden since way back when. Julio Jones has never been 99 on Madden. Never. So it ain't like they can say, well, now Julio Jones is a little bit past his prime. When he was in his prime, he was never a 99 overall receiver. He's never been 99 overall, but you got these guys like Michael Thomas who are still, to me, wet behind the ears compared to Julio. Julio's a vet in this game. He's done anything you can ask him. He's been to a Super Bowl. He's caught for tons and tons of yards. He's had all the touchdowns you want. He's the perfect role model. He's the perfect locker room leader. I mean, what else could you want? But just because he's not that marketable, as what Kevin was saying, he's not that marketable, and he doesn't give you headlines. When he was trying to sign his new contract a couple years ago, they kept trying to make him talk about his contract. But Julio Jones is a very private person. He's the ultimate professional. And I feel like that about a lot of our players. For whatever reason, Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Grady Jarrett, they're the type of guys that bring their lunch pail to work and go home. They're not a type of guys that are divas. None of those guys are divas. But all of those guys put the work in. So I feel like that's the reason that I wanted to create a channel, just like Mike talked about, to create that positive content about our players. Because to me, our players don't get promoted. They don't get the promotions and get the ads and get the the bells and whistles when it comes to marketing. They just don't get it. And the players, I think it's just because, like I was saying, it is ultimate professionals. I feel like every single one of our players could go play in New England. How they say the Patriot way, I feel like every single player that plays for the Falcons, mainly, we don't have really any lightning rods that are leaders on the team. Every player that you see with a C on their chest are the ultimate professionals. If you look at Ricardo Allen, if you look at Matt Ryan, if you look at Keanu Neal, if you look at Grady Jarrett, any of those guys on and off the field, all of those guys are great on and off the field. So I don't know what it is. I don't know what those guys got to do. I feel like even if we would have won the Super Bowl in 2016, the Matt Ryan haters will still be here. Even if Julio Jones had a ring right now and Grady Jarrett had a ring right now, people still will be saying that other players are better than them because it creates conversation in the media. It gives the journalists something to write about. But one thing I love about our players is they're above it all. I haven't seen none of our players stoop down to these guys' level. So I got nothing but respect for Julio Jones, Grady Jarrett, and even Matt Ryan. They recently asked Matt Ryan, would he rather have a Super Bowl trophy or be in the Hall of Fame? And he basically said, I would rather have the Super Bowl trophy. But I feel like this. Why does it have to be one or the other? Because I feel like Matt Ryan's going to eventually end his career. Personally, I feel like he's going to end his career with a Super Bowl trophy and he's going to get a gold jacket. I don't feel like it matters whether he wins a Super Bowl or not because personally, I think that Julio Jones and Matt Ryan are already in the Hall of Fame. If they were to end their careers today and retire tomorrow, I feel like both of those guys are in, regardless if they get a Super Bowl. But I do think that the window is still open for those guys to get a couple Super Bowls before it's all said and done. Just like Kevin was saying, if John Elway was able to do it in his late 30s, I don't see any reason why those guys can do it because those guys are still in their prime.
And the media hates Atlanta, all Atlanta, everything. Just to add that out there too.
Everything that got anything to do with the state of Georgia, Atlanta, it don't matter. They hate everything. So, man, I think this was a damn good show, man. Man, it's always good to just talk Falcons football, man. I'm just I'm at a point where I'm just ready to see some football, man. Like I get so excited to just see these guys at camp. You see Matt Ryan, directing traffic. He directing Calvin Ridley. He's he's talking to Julio. Say you need to do this. Like he's a leader. He's not sitting back and letting them teach him. He's teaching guys that are established. And to Jude's point, Julio is sitting there. He's taking it in. He doesn't have a big head. Look, he doesn't say, "Bitch, I'm Julio. I ain't got to listen to Matt. I'm Julio. I'm the best in the game." Like what? He was what? Fifth? No. Well, we seventh. I forget what number he was on the list, but he was in the top 10 on the list. He said, He can easily say, "I don't need Matt. I can go somewhere else and win." So he doesn't have that attitude. Julio still wants to finish what he started. Julio is still humbled. That's what I love most about Julio. That he's not a diva. He doesn't sit back and cry about not touching the damn ball. This man didn't even look. Julio didn't get the ball to him the whole first half of one game. I forget that game it was, but like 4 catches the entire game. And like until the fourth quarter, Julio Jones didn't get a pass thrown to him the entire game, and he did not come about anything. That's a leader. What you need, and that's what you want on your team. You don't want Dale Beckham's crying, and you don't want Antonio Brown's crying every time you're not looking at them because they want attention. And that's what I love about Matt Ryan. I love this about Julio. I love that about Grady Jarrett. These guys are disrespected on a daily basis, but they don't even worry about it. They just go out there and play and show the world what they're capable of. So, man, dang. Y'all want to plug something, man? Kevin, I know you probably like some AEW or something. I know you want to plug something. Plug something, kid. Last words or something.
Only thing I'm gonna plug is go back to a couple years ago. Look at Julio's first touchdown catch against Washington.
Yeah.
That lets you know how much this team loves.
Exactly, man. That's exactly right.
Like I said, the only thing I'll just plug is wear your mask out here and take this stuff serious.
Very much so, man.
Hands off.
Very much so. Jude?
Yeah, man. I just want to tell y'all, as always, y'all go sub up the channel, Jude Talk Sports on YouTube. Giving y'all that real Atlanta Falcons content, but I love coming on here with my boy Kevin and Mike because I love talking football with people that are knowledgeable, that know the game. No disrespect to none of my subs or anybody that's in the actual, that's why we're here. We're here to educate, talk about the game, but I love talking with you guys where we can break down the game. I love talking football, man. Love talking Atlanta Falcons football. Like I said, we're gonna bring it to y'all every Friday. I can't wait till the season to start. As Michael's saying, man, I'm salivating I can't wait till we play the Seahawks week 1. So we'll have some stuff to break down. We can talk about matchups in our Friday, before the game. We can talk about matchups. We can talk about what we expect. We can talk about bold predictions because, man, I really think that our Falcons are going to ball out this year. And like I said, I love what we've done. We brought some dogs in here, man. I'm like Mike. I love defense. I love defensive line. I love trench play. It's one in the trenches, man. I think we've done a great job of bringing in some dogs on the defensive side of the football. So I really think that teams are going to be in for a rude awakening. I've been hearing a lot of people talking a lot of trash about us getting new uniforms and things of that nature, and talking about you guys are still the same team, no matter if you got new uniforms and stuff like that. But I think with that all black, I really think we're going back to those days where we had head busters on our team. And I really think that teams are going to be scared to cross that middle with the guys we done brung in here, man. So, like I said, I don't want to hold the channel up. I would just say, man, or hold the show up, but y'all go sub the channel. Y'all continue to tune in. And y'all continue to ask questions because we like hearing from you guys. Like, I'm just like Michael saying, I get tired of hearing myself on my channel just talk. And I like to have a dialogue and like to hear what other people's ideas are.
Right.
I get tired of hearing myself talk all the time, man. I like to hear what you guys think, because when Mike started talking about that 3-4 scheme the other day, man, I was so hyped about that jump. I had to go on his channel and leave a comment, man, because I love the 3-4 scheme, bro. I love the 3-4 scheme. So, man, I think we about to wreak havoc on some people this year. So that's all I got, man.
The Atlanta uniforms. I don't know if y'all one of my
man. Again, man, I black, man. That black. Ain't nothing like that all black, man. That all black. That oof. Just bring back goosebumps, man. It's goosebumps, man. That meme machine, man. That meme machine, like, good God. But that's it, man. I appreciate everybody for joining, man. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button here on Matt Mike Sports, Strictly Prohibited Network. Please, if you guys haven't subbed that Strictly Prohibited Network, please. We're still we're still in the beginning stages, but we need you guys to kind of go and sub there. We got some shows, some great shows. We got the Lush Exchange, and I'm telling you, man, like them girls, whew, man, they go in, and they don't leave nothing untalked about. Like, you want real content, and like we're talking real adult conversations. All right, so you got your kids around. You may not want to, have them. You might want to cut the volume down when you're watching that show. So, Lush Exchange, man. We got a lot of shows. Red Cup went. Woo. Yeah. But yeah, man. Go talk. But go ahead, subscribe to not only my channel, Matt My Sports, Strictly Prohibited, You Talk Sports, man. Go ahead and support us, man. Like I said, man, support. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. We always go over the limit. I always try to keep things at an hour and 30 minutes, but it just never seems to work out. So I appreciate everybody for joining, man. But continue to support your boys, man. We're going to continue to bring you more content. This has been Red Cup Rants 2, the Falcons edition, and we about to be out of here, man. Peace.
Deuces.